Mr. Choi, you talk about an abundance of natural gas and not a whole lot of price volatility with the addition of exports. Can you give us an idea just how much natural gas we think there is in some of these new shale finds?
Well, it's not just shale finds. It's the total domestic resource base, which includes conventional supplies, shale gas, coal bed methane, and other types of
so just assuming projected growth in world demand, how many years supply are we looking at?
Well, by most accounts, we have over 2,000 TCF of natural gas in the United States. At our current production levels, that's equivalent to about 100 years.
And that's assuming no tech. And in shale gas, we only recover with our fracking technology, what, about a third of what's there with today's technology?
Well, the technology is constantly improving, and we're able to recover more. The shale gas comprises a growing share of our total U.S. production.
All right. And Mr. Smith, are you familiar with the concept of being in the right place at the right time? I mean, that's where you want to be, right?
You'd have to clarify that question.
Okay, I guess what I'm getting at is that I don't know whether it's coincidence or divine providence or whatever, but to me it looks like our technology in the energy industry is pulling this country out of a recession kicking and screaming. And we probably need to, I'm going to mix my metaphors here, strike while the iron is hot. If the blacksmith industry had to go through a burdensome regulatory process while the tire industry were developing, we'd miss the ability to sell a lot of horseshoes because cars come into existence. I guess what I'm getting at is the federal government is spending a lot of money on alternative energies. I think a breakthrough in battery technology makes a whole lot of alternative energies work a whole lot better. Are we not possibly at a unique time in history where we've got a lot of natural gas, there's a market for it, and we could make some money off of it if we did something now?
Well, Congressman, what I can say is that there are certainly a large number of commenters of the 200,000 comments we're going through now that have made exactly the point that you're making. So we certainly have a sense of urgency to, as expeditiously as possible, get to a open and transparent public interest.
And I know Chairman Issa showed this slide where you can actually see in the dark the Bakken field and the Eagleford shale down in Texas, which I'm blessed to have touched the district that I represent. I'm also going to show you a map. This is a Baker Hughes map that shows all the rigs that are currently in production. The red ones are gas. The blue ones are oil. There's no gas being produced in the Balkan because there's no market for it, and at the current prices, they can't afford to build a pipeline. So they're basically just burning it. I mean, it's a huge waste of what is potentially a very valuable resource. We're seeing gas prices that are just above $3, $3.25 or so in Texas. It's great for us. We've got steel plants coming in. We've got plastic plants coming in. We've got LNG companies looking to come in and export. And you see, we've got some red ones because we have the pipeline infrastructure to do it and market. But what we hear from producers is, in addition to having to get pipelines, which are expensive to build, and another regulatory burden, I only need to say the word Keystone, that's a problem. But then you zoom in down here and see there are also gas wells offshore in Louisiana. And these are traditional horizontal wells. You're not seeing the development of the gas wells because you can't produce a horizontal gas well at $3 gas. What gas we're getting out of these horizontal wells is being produced along with oil or other liquids. So it's not economical to even pursue it. We could lose this boom if we don't get a market. I guess I just want to make sure that y'all are aware of the urgency of getting this done. And then you look at what's going on now in Japan after the terrible tragedy there. They're looking to decommission their nuclear facilities and go with natural gas. Wouldn't it be cool to actually have something to sell them back for all those electronics that we're bringing over here to get the balance of trade? This is the time. And I just want to make sure you guys understand that. There really is that sense of urgency.
And thank you for those comments, Congressman. I mean, those are all factors that we're considering. I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, in the Barnett Shale. I've seen firsthand the difference that some of these developments can make. But we also understand all the other balancing factors. And if we want to make sure we make a good public interest determination, we need to move forward as quickly as possible, but in a way that's open.
And I appreciate that. And I'm a relatively newcomer in Washington, but I do know one of the best ways to kill something is delay. And I hope any delay we're doing is necessary and not intentional.